Hey, you people. Wow, long time no see, you guys. As you could probably notice, lately I've been doing a lot of shorts and I've been kind of steering my channel more in the direction of cat and related stuff. But today I'm actually going to go on a rant. If you're a regular here, you know that I actually don't usually rant. But today I am going to rant just a little bit. Now, just hold on. Let's see. I'm just going to wait for you guys to come in while I'm actually just setting up a few things here. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. It's actually relatively quiet over the weekend here. So just taking it easy. Oh, Sir Carlos, sorry. Okay, now let me just let's see how I can see everything. Hey, Dominique, yo, Flying Savannahs, Kyle, yo. Before I start, say hi to my gogo. Say hi to my gogo. And Sir Carlos, who's after my boiled beef. I'm just waiting for it to cool down. How's you guys? I hope everything is good. And Richard, good. Hi. Okay, so I'm gonna start my rant. It's a relatively long story, so I got my bubble tea ready. And what else? Yeah, I got my boiled beef ready that I'm probably gonna eat some of. So me and Sir Carlos can eat the same thing. Anyway, and frankly, I'm actually quite pissed off. Okay, so I was taking burrito for his regular vaccinations, taking Strawberry for her checkup for her liver problem, and taking Mui for her annual checkup as well. And while we were at the vet, what happened was that Sir Carlos, no, you're gonna bring everything down. Okay, there we go. He's after the beef. Definitely after the beef. So what happens was that we overheard a conversation between the vet tech and a customer that was in the vet office, and it's actually not common that you hear conversations like that, to say the least. So to give you a bit of background information, so if you guys remember who Holly is, my one of my really good friends here, and so she was sitting outside, and then she overheard the conversation, but we didn't and I was inside. I was bringing the cats in one by one to get them to visit the vet, and so she heard the whole thing, but then it all strings up after. What happens is that the vet tech actually came out to the waiting area. Hi, who's this? I didn't. Dana, you want to play fetch? Dana wants to play fetch. And so the vet tech actually came out and tried to convince this woman, and this is the exact words that she said in Chinese, of course. She said, "Oh, if you're not going to treat this dog, why don't you just give him an injection?" I'm thinking she meant euthanasia, so that he doesn't suffer, because this dog is obviously suffering right now. And you're not treating him. I don't know how much time you need to consider or to think about it. Why don't you make your decision fast? So obviously it's a puppy that wasn't doing so well, and it's very young. It's a pedigree. I think it's a white Pomeranian. It must be a rare breed. And so what happened was that this puppy was purchased from a puppy mill, and with the puppy mills here, I don't know about other countries, but their practices are not the best, not the most ethical, not the best in terms of care, probably not even legal. And if you like drinking and chewing, yeah, bubble tea. Okay, so what happens is that so this lady bought a sick puppy. This puppy had acute infection of the lungs, so very serious. This dog was having trouble breathing. And the nurse was like, "Why don't you take these medicine home and, reduce the suffering of this dog while you're deciding, while you're thinking about it?" And so the lady's like, "No, I don't want to pay extra." And then I'm like, "How much can these meds possibly cost, right?" So they quoted her Is hospice for animals? That's not the point. So if you keep listening, you'll know what I'm talking about. So hang in there, Richard. And what happened was that the lady doesn't want to spend any more money other than the consultation and some pretty regular, the checkup items. Because I heard, the stuff she's paying for is not even that much. So it's just a bare minimum. And she's refusing to treat this puppy who's obviously suffering. And what happens is that our speculation, because Holly overheard the whole thing, was that she wanted some sort of proof to bring back to the puppy mill to tell them that, hey, this merchandise that I got, because obviously the reason why I said merchandise is because from our speculation, she's not really treating the dog like a living being. She's treating him like a merchandise that's defective. And she just wants to get her money's worth. She feels that she got something that was not what her money was worth. And she wanted her consumer's obligation and her rights to a healthy animal, which is okay, fine. But how about this puppy that's suffering right now, right? What are you going to do about that? She doesn't care. She doesn't want to get him treated, doesn't even want to give him medicine to feel better while she's making up her mind. So I overheard it. And then so I was just, being curious, and I asked her, it's like, oh, so what's wrong with your puppy? So I already tried to suppress how furious I was, while Holly is on the verge of of eliminating this person. She was already cursing her. And so I had to basically really be really calm. Sorry, I'm feeding my cats these beef thingies right now. And I was like, hey, cookie boy, yo. And I was like, yeah, so what's wrong? She said, oh yeah, this dog is so sick. And the bill is they quoted it for 3 days of care is almost roughly $2,000 US, maybe $1,800. It's and it doesn't even guarantee that the dog will get better. I'm like, ma'am, even if you have a surgery, I don't think there's any guarantees that you're gonna live. So that's quite normal. She's like, I'm not gonna spend that money. I'm like, how much did you pay for this puppy, right? She's like, oh, $30,000, which is $4,000. And I asked her, it's why would you want to purchase a puppy? There's so many in the adoption centers. She said, oh, it's because we live in government housing, so it's illegal to keep animals, so therefore we decide to buy them. And because it's a white Pomeranian, it's a very in-demand breed that people can flaunt, I guess. And when I was looking at her, I was like, okay, you live in government housing, you wear an LV purse along with some other stuff that I don't know the brand to, but obviously she knows how to spend a few bucks on herself. And it's a white Pomeranian. I asked my friends, it's supposed to be a rare breed. And what happens is that, okay, wait, I'm gonna, wait. Do you guys want to see them eat? Okay, here we go. So what happens is that, and I asked her, it's okay, wait a minute. Of course, I didn't point out her designer brands, but I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It's illegal to have it in a government housing, then you shouldn't have a dog. It's like, oh, my daughter loves puppies so much. I'm like, okay, in all fairness, ma'am, a puppy is not going to be a puppy within 4 or 5 months, right? They're going to grow up. What are you going to do? And frankly, if you're not willing to spend this money on medical bills, then are you ready to spend it when the dog gets old? Assuming that you're going to keep it for life, which I have a hunch that she probably wouldn't. What's a cane corso? I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So these puppy mills and cat mills, please don't support them. So I'm already cringing inside very hard. Hi, Coco. Coco, do you want some? Doesn't want any. Okay, I'll eat some. And then, so I told you, I'm like, ma'am, frankly, if you're not ready to pay now, I'm concerned for this dog. Even if he's not sick now, what are you going to do one day when he's not cute, when he's not young, when he's not healthy? What are you going to do? It's like, oh, of course I'll take care of him for the rest of his life. I'm like, I question that, but I didn't say that. That was my inner monologue. I said, so what are you going to do? She's like, oh, I'm just going to bring him home and see how it goes. I'm like, it's acute lung infection. Your dog is wheezing. And they said it's a very critical condition. Like in human, I'm interpreting it in human definition. It's almost like ICU situation, right? No, it's not going to get banned from having pets. Of course not. Animal rights in Hong Kong are not even enforced because people won't take action unless there's evidence. And how are you supposed to break into people's house, saying that you have evidence when you don't until you break into their place, right? Yeah, these people will get rid of them. Yeah, Dominique, I think you're right. So what happens? Okay, let me display some of the stuff you guys said. Kyle, yeah, should be banned from having pets. Dominique, that's a lot of money for having a dog. Totally. I agree. Going to take care of him when he's older. Okay, so agreed. And my enlightened days. Okay. Anyway, so I told her, am I eating Sir Carlos food? Okay. So what happens is I told her, I'm like, there's no time. There's no time for you to think about it. This dog is suffering. The bills aren't even that expensive. Like I go to this vet all the time. It's not like they're slaughtering you, but this is a pretty critical condition and the blood work is bad. And then you look at everything and then I'm like, dude, why are you letting him suffer? Right? And so I didn't understand the exact intention of her decision because I didn't hear all the background information because I wasn't sitting in the waiting area waiting, but Holly was. So she said, oh, I'm just going to go home and discuss with my family and see if we want to spend this kind of money. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you decide by the end of today? If you want to surrender your animal, I know somebody, I know a lot of people who's willing to pay that kind of money to just absorb a sick animal and just take care of them. Right. But please let me know, ASAP because you're dragging it in this animal suffering. Oh, yeah. Well, Kyle, kind of hard. So what happens was, so I exchanged numbers with her and I asked her if I can take a photo of the dog. And I was like, okay, if you need help, I'm just going to ask my friends and see see if people can help, which I asked around. Wait, Dominique, your dog deserves a worthwhile. Humans don't deserve animals a lot of times. Sad. It's sad. Okay, so it goes like this. And so I was asking my friends, and of course, I have friends who's more than willing to, to take care of any dog. There's no questions asked. Doesn't matter what the age, doesn't matter what the medical bill is. There's plenty. Like, I mean, I do that for cats all the time. It's just that I don't know dogs that well, so I'm not confident that I can. And plus, I don't think a dog would do too well in my place. Anyway, so I was still suppressing how furious I was while I was just pacifying her. I was being really nice with her and I didn't curse her at all, although I am in here. And so what happened was I followed up with her and I said, if you don't want to pay that kind of money, why don't you just surrender an animal? And she wouldn't. And then so me and Holly were on the taxi and the taxi driver happened to be an animal lover, a cat lover. And yep, all animals are very precious. I think us humans probably need something really bad to happen to us as a race to realize that we don't own this world. Yeah, but that's the nature of humans, right? Unless Sadomile, meaning that death is near, then we'll do something about it. Otherwise, no, I don't think humans will be woke in that sense. Flying Savannas, Cataracts High. Funny, we got a lot of replacement help and good communication. You get what you pay for. But you know what? A lot of these people actually treat them as purse puppies, flaunt animals. They don't give a shit. Hey, how's my favorite Sir Carlos? Your favorite Sir Carlos is right here. He's actually eating some boiled beef. Hey, Sir Carlos. Okay. All right. Okay. So sorry, you guys. Sorry that I had to go on this rant. If you guys have been following my channel, you know that I barely rant. I've only had probably one or two ever. Explicitly, that was a rant. So thanks so much for listening. Okay, so and then so the taxi driver overheard the conversation that I was having with that lady, and then he's like, "Oh, girl, that lady's not going to surrender the animal. And I said, why not? Someone's going to take care of him. Why is she so hesitant about giving him a second chance? That's very bad for humans. Not just humans, it's for everybody. Everybody suffers. Yep, always. That's yours for Carlos. Okay, and the taxi driver was thinking about it from her perspective. Not that he agrees with it, but I think he's got a lot of clarity. He said, okay, girl, if she surrenders it to you, she will not get the store credit back. And she have no reason and no grounds to make a refund or exchange request with the breeder, with the puppy mill. And let's see, I hope lady decides to take up on the offer. No, she didn't. But there's a twist. There's a twist. Please listen to the end, you guys. Okay. And hey, Vinay Singh, yo, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Good vibes. Okay. So, okay. Hey, Pickard, 2005. Yo. Okay. And someone sent me a heart. Thanks, you guys. And oh, just a shout out for people on Patreon. Thank you very much. It's especially things like this. It makes me think, you know, the reserve that I'm trying to build up on Patreon. It's just so useful. You'll understand. So anyway, what happens is that he said if she surrenders, then there is no grounds for her to make a refund or exchange request with these breeders. Because if she gave the animal away, or if the animal died in her hands, then you know, then it's not she's not in a position to bargain with them. And I was like, that is so effed up. He's like, that's the fact. She sees it as a clothing with a price tag on, still damaged, but price tag still on. And I was like, it's like, how do you think this lady would feel if she surrendered her animal to you, and that, yeah, somebody took care of it. Yeah, it's for the animal's benefit. But what about her? She just lost $4,000. That's all she cares about. From your conversation, she doesn't even want to pay a little bit more money for the medicine that's making him feel better while she's trying to make up her mind, whatever that is, right? Do you think she cares about anything but money? I was like, yeah, you got a really good point. Dominique, F humans. Not all, but you know what I mean. It's moments like this when I say just F humans. But you guys are lovely. I love you guys. And so, okay, anyway, so I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, I can't understand why she would say that, given that she's not somebody who would love the dog for who it is. Obviously not. You see that a lot in people who decide to purchase animals. Sorry, I'm not saying this for all the people who do, but a lot of people who are attracted only to them because they're a puppy and because they're cute at that moment and they're cute in their purse, they're cute for Instagram. And when you talk to them, you can feel that they don't love these animals for who they are. Animals, just a commodity. Yeah. And I even tried to tell the lady, I was like, girl, if you have a son or daughter, can you guarantee that they're going to be healthy for the rest of their lives? Like, it's part of life. That medical bill is part of it. Rather, it starts in the beginning because you had a bad start, or later on. And depending on how you take care of them, it's going to be even worse down the road, looking at what you do right now. So I'm already like holding my urge to like scream, which I did. How is that even? You should tell them, people like that, you should tell them you're not cute for saying that. So, okay. Cookie Boy, it's really a different perspective. It's not good. It's not good. And unfortunately, I mean, Hong Kong is a very civilized modern city, but when it comes to animal rights, it's just for show. That's my humble opinion. Anyway, so Holly was so sad she cried when we were having lunch, and I had to hold in my tears because if she's crying and I'm crying, it's just the end of the world. So I have to comfort her. Well, I have to be strong and still hold my emotions while I'm leaving messages for this lady. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I do have people lined up if you're ready to to surrender, but obviously that's bad. A consumer decision, and so I know, oh yeah, that's right, she's not going to do it. So I can't say I took another approach. That's why you. Oh yeah, dominate. Totally. Tell me about it. Lack of knowledge owners better than fashion seekers. Better chance to reform to the former. Okay, so I told her, I'm like, lady, I don't know what you know about these puppy and these kitty mills, but I've seen a lot of like actual videos that we're taking from them from like spy cams from the volunteers or even the documentaries about it. I'm like, and I'm not even going to go into details about, you know, how bad it is in a puppy or kitty mills, how the moms are treated, what the conditions are. And I tell her, a lot of them are not ethical, not legal, and they don't care. The animal that they sell you, they know it's sick. Okay, they inject them with steroids so that they're energetic and good for a couple days before they hand them to you. So that's why you got a perfectly healthy animal that suddenly, don't know why, started declining in a couple days. I wonder why. Yeah, I know. I know. And so, and then I tell her it's because they inject them with steroids so that when they present it to you, it looks great. And what's the policy anyway for these illegal puppy mills? There's probably nothing. I don't even know where these puppy mills are. It's probably shipped from China. Who knows? Or local in Hong Kong. Nobody knows. It's not regulated. There's a market. There's people there. So don't support them. Do not support them. That's exactly what I told them. And I said, okay, the way that these moms are treated, these places are just horrible. They know they're selling you a sick animal. And then what happens is that you suffer. So I'm trying to speak in the language that she understands because she only hears money. I'm like, so therefore, you're gonna buy a faulty product that you're gonna have to fix yourself, and it's buyer beware. Yeah. And then I don't know if she's being naive about it or if she's just kind of putting on a show because she doesn't want to look bad. Because you know how some people just turn a blind eye when they're buying these cute animals. They don't care like how sausages are made, right? Oh, you didn't know that? Flying. If you don't know about the steroid scamming, then I'll tell you a lot more. Anyway, it's a really long rant, but it's very informational as well, especially for you guys that's living in Western countries. This might be an eye opener. So anyway. So I was telling her, I was like, these puppies are like a lot of them is because of inbreeding, whatever. They're genetically not that good already. That's why a lot of these pedigree animals have a lot of problems. And I'm not even surprised. And this might be a tip of the iceberg, meaning that for the rest of the life, this animal's life, they might have to frequent vets anyway. So even if you treat it this time, my realist take on it is that they're probably not set to be the most healthiest animals. If you want an animal that doesn't get sick, she's like, oh, I got friends who got a dog who never got sick. And I was like, yeah, but it depends on how they treat them too, right? And what kind of diet they've been. And considering that you live in a 300 square feet government housing with 4 other people, I'm not so sure. And that you're willing to spend the money on your LV bag, but not on the medical bill. Like, I didn't say that. But my speculation is that I think this dog would have the best quality of life. Right. And I told her, if you want an animal that is less likely to get sick all their lives, get is it called Mongol? Like those dogs that have no breed. It's like a mixed bred, the street dog. I'm like, get one of those. I'm like, just like how the street cats, those ones don't get sick nearly as often as a lot of these pedigree cats, right? Just the genetic diversification, right? But obviously she doesn't even. And I'm like, look, your dog has acute lung infection. Do something about it, right? And then she's like, I don't know that's what he had. I'm like, it's written on the first page right there. Obviously, you're just here to get a proof so that you can argue. I'm like, this is bad. I'm like, seriously, lady, let me tell you. It's like you getting hit by a car and you're bleeding in the middle of the road, okay? And the people around you are telling you, Cookie Boy, thank you so much for being on my Patreon. Thank you. Wow. Really appreciate it. Woo, Cookie Boy, everyone. Thank you. You guys, I really need you guys to be on Patreon, especially for moments when I have like sudden like rescue missions or just people like calling me just to bring home animals. So thank you so much. Okay. So I told her, it's like you get hit by a car, you're bleeding in the middle of the road. Okay. And then your parents are looking at you and say, girl, I'm not willing to pay that kind of money. Why don't we just kind of, I'll go back and I'll kind of do my price comparison while you lay down in the middle of the road and bleed a bit more and, just suffer a little bit, while I think about it. I'm like, that's exactly what you're doing to this dog right now. Shame on you. So I told her that. So let's see, Dominique, that's why, you're not able to take, I know, don't have a pet. If you can't take care of them for the rest of their lives, then please don't. Please don't. But Cookie Boy, thank you. Really, you're a hero. Thank you. Really, this is super cool, you guys. And sorry, I'm just furious. So let me eat a piece of steamed beef just to calm my nerves a little bit. Just tastes kind of good. Ding Ding, do you want some? Ding Ding, do you want some? This is why I steam all of my meats and stuff so that I can eat whatever they eat. Okay. So this is quite kind of nice actually. So I'm like, you don't do this. I'm like, you don't do this to people. Like, you don't do this to any animals. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Why are you making him suffer like this? Right? And the fact that you're bringing him home, it's not going to do anything. This thing's going to die. And so she said, okay, I'm going to bring it back to the shop and exchange. I'm like, what did these people tell you? So that was in the conversation that we were having while we were on the taxi. She said, oh, the breeders said they're going to treat my dog and then they're going to give me back the healthy dog. I'm like, either they're lying or you're lying. Okay, it takes like a long time to treat something like that. And guess what? You shoppers are looking for a cute doggy that's in their like 8-month or 8-week period. That is oh so cute, the cute factor. You think getting your dog back like a month or two later after treatment, you're still going to accept that? No, because the goods has expired. It's past its optimal period. You think they're going to do that, and you think you're going to accept that? Either you're lying or they're lying. And she said, no. They said they're going to treat him. I'm like, you want to know what they're going to do? In flying, this is what you've been waiting for. One of the piece of information. And I'm like, when they say they're going to treat it for you, they're either going to beat it over the head with a stick or a brick repeatedly so that it dies. Yeah. Or they're just going to let him wilt and die in a cage without food, with no treatment, with nothing, with no care, nothing. Or they're going to take a zip tie and a sandwich bag and they're going to suffocate him. Yeah. That's what it boils down to. Along with some other things, like, you get the idea. I'm like, and what are they going to do after it dies? They're going to take a knife, pry out the microchip, inject it into another animal. Oh, the day after, they said, you can come pick up your healthy pet now because we just injected it into another similar looking animal. That's exactly what they do. Not unheard of. Yeah. That's one of, so savannas, flying savannas, that's one of the practices. And she's like, oh, they're microchip. It's going to be the same dog. I'm like, no, it's not the same dog. You know that it's impossible. And even they can't guarantee that this dog, even the vet, nobody can guarantee that this dog can get better. So how can they guarantee you that they're going to treat your dog and give it back to you, right? Right, Mutt, that's right. So dog swap, that's the thing. And I can hear in her voice that she's a bit shocked, but that kind of shock and little bit of guilty is very soon restored by her care for money. And then she's like, I paid $4,000 for this dog. So obviously she doesn't understand. Yeah, exactly, Cookie Boy. Either she's naive or she's trying to lie to me so that she doesn't look like a bad person. Either way, right? I don't care. So that's why I told her. And I was like, okay, if you ever change your mind, if you need help, let me know. So when she didn't reply, and then I actually said, I think it was my closest attempt to yelling at her, but I didn't. But I said something that's really from the bottom of my heart, and I wasn't even cursing her. And I said, okay, call me superstitious, but I believe in reincarnation. I believe in what comes around goes around. I believe in karma. So what you did in making this dog suffer today, because of whatever decisions you made. And I'm not judging you, although I have already. I'm not judging you on, why you're making that decision. But one day, I hope you do not get ran over by a car and you're laying down, bleeding in the middle of the road, and everybody is just circling around you, taking pictures, and they'll think about it. And they'll look for cheaper options while you just lay there and bleed. I hope that doesn't happen to you, but call me superstitious. So I just left I left the message like that. And I wasn't expecting to hear from her, frankly. Like I kind of semi-cursed her, didn't I? Right? So being the thick-skinned me that I was, and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. Holly couldn't sleep either. And I think Holly probably cried before she could sleep too. So yeah. And so what happens was that today, I'm like, you know what? I think I've been trying to think in her perspective. It's about her investment. She's not willing to settle for a faulty product that she has to fix, not being able to guarantee if that product's going to be good after she pays the money. And so I'm like, okay, maybe if I have $4,000 to pay her to just buy her animal, maybe she'll surrender it to me. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Why do I want to encourage this kind of behavior? Because she's going to promote it, or somebody's going to promote it, that somebody's going to wipe these people's ass. I'm like, no, that's not good. I'm like, okay, if she says she's going to go exchange with the shop. So I texted her. I'm like, hey, so how was your exchange experience? Did you get the healthy dog exchange that they said that was going to happen? So I just said it as if I care, which was not my intention. And my intention was trying to ask her, hey, do you have the dog seller's contact? Maybe I can contact them and see if they're willing to, sell the animal to me, right, at a discounted price because it's sick or whatever. Because I know they're going to kill it, whichever gruesome way they're going to kill it. And I had the discussion with Holly, and she said, yeah, why don't you just be upfront with the seller and say, I know what kind of tricks you guys are pulling before you bash it over with the head. Why don't you sell it to me at a discounted price? But I'm like, you know what? Flying. Horrible. And then, so I'm like, you know what? Knowing how these unethical breeders think, they're going to think, I'm not going to do it, because if I sell it to everyone like that at a discounted price, and all you guys have to do is just sit around and buy a sick animal and get an animal at a discounted price. And that's really bad for my business. You guys don't have to be buying my other dogs. Hey. And so why I know that logic is because in Hong Kong, bread shops for leftover bread, day-old bread, instead of throwing it out, they pour bleach over it and then throw it out, because they don't even want homeless people or rats or whatnot to be eating it. That's the kind of mindset. They don't want poor people to be waiting around, even the desperate ones, to be waiting to get their stomachs filled by bread that someone threw out on the street. So they pour bleach on it. It's really, really, really sad. So it's that same kind of mentality. It's like, I'd rather destroy it so that nobody gets it, even at a discounted price, because that hurts my business. I'm like, ugh. So I'm like, that wouldn't work. Ugh. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like call up the lady and tell her, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna give you 4K. I'm like, give me the freaking dog, right? Very cruel. It's true. But designer brands do that. For the designer brand bags that they don't sell, slash it, burn it. They don't want anyone to benefit. Okay, anyway, F humans. Not you guys, but you know what I mean. So I decided to just kind of follow up with her and just see where it goes, right? Like, I mean, if this dog gets beat over with a brick, that's what it's going to be, right? I'm just praying. I hope whatever happens to this guy, it happens fast, it's painless. But I know that in reality, it's anything but. So what happens was that I asked her, I'm like, yeah, so the exchange went well, huh? She's like, oh, I didn't bring the dog back for the exchange. So according to Holly's speculation, I think she's right. She said, oh, it's probably because these people won't let her exchange, or because the dog is so rare, there's no dog to exchange with you. It's a white Pomeranian. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And yep. And so Holly said, maybe it's not because she's so guilty. It's because she tried, and these people don't have a dog to give her. That's option. That's plausibility number one. Or two, maybe it's her guilty conscience, because I kind of semi-cursed her. And I said, I hope it doesn't happen in your next life. And I think part of it is true when they say, especially with Asians, sometimes giving information to people who refuse to hear them, not just Asians, but people in general, that kind of persuasion doesn't work. You either guilt trip them, or you make them feel that they're doing themselves a favor, So in that case, in her case, it's the money part of things, right? She's making a good financial decision. And she said, oh, I did. I'm like, oh, what did you do? She's like, oh, I have a friend who's a vet. And I took it to him, and he gave me a discount. The dog is not as critical as you think. He actually already feels better with some medicine. I was like, what medicine? So she sent me pictures. It's the same medicine that the vet was offering yesterday. I was like, he's like, oh, and the vet was trying to rip me off because he charged me. They gave me a really high quote. I'm like, okay, first of all, no. But it's because your friend is a vet. He decides to give you a discount. Doesn't mean other people are charging you more expensive. It's like, and I think that doctor is a scam. I'm like, no, it's one of the most famous pet hospitals in Hong Kong. No, I do not think so. But because she's from China, and she said there's a lot of scams in China. I'm like, not everyone's trying to rip you off. It's a medical report from a laboratory. How can they lie about the values of a blood work? But I do understand that in China, where she's from, it is very possible, because there's a lot of fake things in China. But I'm like, no, it's Hong Kong. If any registered vet have that kind of practice, they would be out of practice overnight. It is not possible. And we're not known for that kind of stuff. I'm like, if Hong Kong have that kind of fake things, why would all the Chinese tourists come to Hong Kong to buy gold and buy milk formula and buy designer brands? Is because we don't have fake things like that here. Like, I mean, okay, there's maybe times that, okay, you just run into like fake items when you're not buying from reputable stores, but that doesn't even happen that often. But my point is, Hong Kong is not known to be like that. And it's like, I don't know why you're so traumatized. Maybe because it happens to you all the time that everyone's just ripping everybody off in China, which I know there's a lot of those. But you're in Hong Kong now. It's not like that. And not everyone's trying to rip you off. And this is a very reputable vet. And just because your vet is charging you cheaper doesn't mean they charge you more, right? And look, the medicine they're giving you is the same ones that they gave you yesterday. You just tormented the dog for an extra day. And I mean, God bless that dog. Like, he pulled through last night. A high mountain village in Bolivia saw a resident with, okay, need to ponder how U.S. foreign donations overstock gets in the middle of no guest. Yep. So I'm like, so are you training this dog now? She's like, yeah, I don't mind spending the money as long as I know I'm not being ripped off. I'm like, first of all, you weren't being ripped off, okay? And second of all, it's very horrible for you to make this dog suffer all this time. But I still have to praise her. I'm like, but good on you for at least having the guilty conscience to get it treated. And I was telling her, I was like, if you want to save money in the future, first of all, don't get a pedigree dog. Don't get any dog, right? And if you want to save money, treat this dog well for the rest of its life. Give it a good diet, right? Bring him to regular veterinary visits. That will save you money over time if you want to talk money. Yeah, but that's what it is. So surprise ending is that guilt tripping her and kind of semi-cursing her worked. Not because I was cursing her, but I think part of her was scared of reincarnation and karma. Really sure that puppy is getting proper medical care now. The lady's not just, no, she sent me a video. Yeah, the dog is eating, and yeah, it's a rare breed. It's a white Pomeranian. What? So you guys, yeah, adopt, don't shop. You guys, there's a lot of animals that's waiting to be saved. And frankly, before, like, I know this sounds really bad, but it's quite true. You humans out there, not you guys, but humans out there, if you guys are thinking about getting an animal, looking at yourself in the mirror and see if you actually deserve an animal, then get an animal. If you act like worse than an animal, then do not get one, because you're pretty self-destructive and is doomed to extinct in the grand scheme of things because you're rotten inside. That's it. There's a cool story with this Bolivian guy. Hey, KY Chow. So that's that. That was yeah, that's my rant. And just to make everything a bit better, I am actually going to, how do I actually turn my camera? Aha. Oh, wait, sorry. That was, how do I flip my camera? That is so weird. I want to show you guys what's in front of me. That is, okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm totally wound up. I hope I can sleep tonight. I don't know. Hard to say. Really hard to say. Like I'm pretty pissed off. That's so weird. Wait, remove. No, not remove. How can I actually flip my camera? Okay. I don't know. I was gonna show you me feeding little beef cubes to my cats. Adopt, don't shop. Yes, I know. People are rarely owners. Yep. I want to. Yep. And you know, animals don't belong to us. Like we're not owning anything. We always think that, you know, we own a lot of things. We don't. We don't even own this world. We just barely live here and share it with everybody else. Gogo, that is a very interesting stance that you have right there. Gogo. Very interesting posture you're having. About raw diet, yep. We're actually incorporating one right now. I'm slowly switching them to raw for the ones who's willing to eat it. Ding ding. Let's see. Humans think we own everything. I know. As I say at the beginning, unless something really bad happens to human, that I'm guessing that probably puts us to the brink of extinction, we're not gonna wake up. Seriously. Boiled beef buffet cat riot now. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, look at her. Come on, Ding Ding. Do you like this? Would you? Okay, I don't know how to turn my camera today. I don't know why it's not letting me. That is so weird. Okay, I will give up. But I just thought I would end on a happier note by showing you guys. Oh, but also the ending isn't exactly the worst. It actually took a pretty good turn. So I'm quite happy about that. An animal is not just for Christmas, it's for life. I know. Here. What do you want? Do you want? Is this too big for you? Okay, here. I'll give it to Ding Ding first. Let me give you a smaller piece. Richard, I cannot agree more. And that is when that's when I think to myself, really, that's where sometimes money speaks really loud in the rescue of animals, because like with people like that, of course I don't want to encourage them, but there's a moment when I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna buy out that dog. I'm just gonna buy out that dog and just call it a day. Okay, I'm gonna give this to Sir Carlos. 2 videos on talk about raw diet, informative content like that, like actual cleaning water fountain. Loved it. Thank you. KY Chow. Yeah, I will be. I'll probably actually do some teaser ones on the short, and I will expand with my longer videos because they do take longer to make. They really do. Can I actually just ask, how many people actually watched that water fountain video? Because frankly, it's something that I didn't find out until a few years ago. And I was like, oh my God, my cats are drinking dirty water. So I thought it would actually bring some value to you guys. Ow, Sir Carlos. I'm dying. Ouch. Ow, ow, ow. Sir Carlos. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Sir Carlos, that is this guy. Wow, geez. You did nice. Not sure why, but you did. Does that mean you actually don't use a water fountain, but you just somehow watched it anyway? In that case, good on you. Good on you. You watched it and it helped. And those brushes, you can actually get them from Amazon. I have the links in the description. And for those of you who's been using my Amazon links, you guys are a rock star. But it's funny because they actually made those brushes, and as if like they know that those things are designed to be cleaned. Okay. And kittens and puppies, they need maturity. Nice. Their manuals actually don't tell you to even clean that thing. Yeah. So I rearranged the house a little bit lately, and I finally threw out that that litter box that I was doing a review on. Not too useful at home for us. Have no answer to why. No answer to why you watched that video. Don't need an explanation. I guess it must have served you in some way. But you guys, thanks so much for listening to my rant. I really appreciate it, you guys. And, you know, as if you're a regular here, you know that I don't rant a lot. I really don't. But I just thought this is actually quite rant worthy, and it's actually quite informational in a way. Sorry if, you know, if it really shocked some of you guys and kind of gave you a bad taste in the mouth. But at the end, at least there's a good ending to it. Adopt 2 kittens if you, this is Rachel. Hey, Rachel. Nice. Rachel, good job. If you need any help, you know, let me know. You know, just shoot me a message on Discord or on IG. I'm usually on IG. So yeah, you guys, okay, I'm gonna have a piece of this. This meat snack in the middle of the night is very interesting. Okay, so anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go to sleep now. Go to work tomorrow. Thanks so much for coming in, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the description, and what kind of some other stuff you guys want to see in the future. Because as I say, my channel is actually steering in a very cat-centric video in the future. So yeah, let me know. Other than that, good night, you guys. To tofu litter, yeah. Oh, actually, my not next video, but the video after that is reviewing cat litter. I ordered 6 or 7 different types tofu litter from Amazon, and it's getting shipped to me. So I will actually do a review and comparison. So stay tuned. Yep. Take care. Take care. I won't use the scented ones. They're all unscented. So if you can wait around, Rachel, I am doing that 2 videos from now. Just so that you know, that video will be out within probably a month or less. Yeah. So you guys, please do let me know what you guys want to see in my future videos, because yeah, I want to know what it is that you guys want. Yeah. So I'm going to take off now because Sir Carlos, he's licking my fingers and he wants more beef cubes. All right, you guys, thanks so much. Everyone on Patreon, thank you. Everyone on Discord, thank you. Everyone using my Amazon affiliate links, you guys are rock star. And yeah, thanks for coming in today. I didn't expect so many people to be around. But yeah, that's it. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.